Good Shabbos, everybody. Welcome back. So this week's Parsha goes right into it. So the opening words of Vayishlach jump right into the storyline of Jacob preparing to meet his brother Esau for the first time in years. And again, I'm going to ask you to think about this on a psychological level as well as a Torah level. So here's the setting. Jacob, his 2 wives, his 2 maidservants, his 11 children, left his father-in-law Laban's house. He left overwhelmed with aggravation, but yet he also had a lot on his mind. He was going to meet his brother Esau. They were going back to Canaan. And he's traveling directly towards Edom. This is where Esau lives. But the Torah doesn't tell us if he's going towards Edom because it's on the way to Canaan, or he's going towards Edom to meet his brother. The Torah is not clear on exactly why he directed his travels that way, or if that was actually the route. And if you could just imagine him and his anguish, his anxiety focuses on his encounter, his reuniting with his brother, and he carefully planned in his head, as I would say most people would, the upcoming situation and the possible different outcomes that he was going to encounter this person. Anxiety, like we would have this anxiety, right? And the Torah specifically says anxiety. The anxiety that Jacob held on to with regards to Esau, we can only assume stems from their time in their parents' home, many, many years before, how he remembers his brother as an aggressive kind of a guy, and how this wholesale with the birthright, the stealing of the birthright, like this is on his mind, but this is years ago. But this is how he remembers what's in his mind and having to deal with meeting up with his brother. So Jacob, like any man, human, is thinking on that level. Oh God, what am I gonna deal with now? Like, ugh. He's a grown man, he's mature, he's successful. He doesn't want to have to deal with that. That opens up a wound, tears off the Band-Aid from a long time ago. So what does he do? Being the religious man that he is, he prays to God. And this whole encounter is in chapter 32. You'll feel what I'm saying because I got it from the words of the Torah. So along the way, again, it's like playing on him. At a certain point to meeting up with Esau, Jacob separates from the family and spends the night alone. Well, this is a very famous story, right? This famous story of Jacob wrestling with a man is the subject of complete books, of countless commentaries, of discussions by Torah scholars throughout the centuries. This encounter has been studied and documented of somebody's personal opinion about what is happening. Some scholars say that God sending an angel to wrestle with Jacob is to prevent him from running away. I don't want to deal with this Esau thing, because if you study Jacob's personality, it says that he had the tendency to do that. Compelling him to confront his brother was a strong emotion and theme in this Parsha. As a matter of fact, repeated in the Torah again with Jacob at this time, we have this thing called reconciliation. Isaac and Ishmael, they came together at their father's funeral. Joseph and his brothers later on in the Torah, reconciliation. And now Jacob and Esau. Real things that happen to real people and that happen to us possibly in our lifetime. Reconciliation is the theme here. And we define reconciliation, we automatically think of a positive outcome, like a renewed relationship. Oh, I'm going to meet up with you again. We're going to make good and make nice, and then we'll be friends and we'll live happily ever after. But these stories in real life, reconciliation doesn't always have to mean a renewed relationship that's continuous. Jacob finally faces Esau, and he realizes that he doesn't want to have a renewed, continuous relationship with him, but just this encounter so he can close that chapter in his mind, that he can deal with it, if you will. So there is an idea that when you meet up with somebody, you have to become friends with them again. Jacob didn't want to become friends, and as a matter of fact, Jacob tells a little white lie. Esau says, come back with me. You'll read this in chapter 33. Come back with me to Edom. And Jacob said, no, it's okay. You go on ahead. We'll see. Don't, like, he doesn't, like, complete his commitment to him going. And so this is, again, another white lie we see in the Torah, which is okay, right? But this was Jacob's meeting, his reconciliation, and he, as you know, goes on his way, and Esau goes on his way. So that's that issue that we can learn from. Now, after this meeting, there's the story of Dinah, okay? This is a very famous story as well. This Parsha is like top headline. This is Broadway. This is top dog stuff, right? We got the story of Dinah. So here we have Dinah falls in love or is raped, depending on what commentary, what midrash you want to use, by the chief Hittite, which is the other nation that we're not supposed to be getting involved with the chief's son, right? And the Torah commentary says rape. Okay, it doesn't really matter. Like, we weren't there. Who knows? Who cares? But being the only sister to 10 brothers, the guy from a different culture and a different, not supposed to be with those people, the brothers are sticking up for her. They get very upset and they take revenge. This is all in chapter 34. Very gross and strong chapter. It's gruesome, right? It's not nice. The story, The Red Tent, the book The Red Tent, is a midrashic interpretation all about this particular chapter of the Torah, the Dinah story. It's not pleasant, right? It's not a pleasant story. I'm not going to get into it too much. So in chapter 35, another major thing happens. Jacob's name is now changed to Israel and is given the most beautiful blessing by God, the most beautiful. God speaks to Jacob and tells him to go back to Bethel, the original spot where he slept over 20 years ago. And in reading that chapter, you get a sense of their family dynamics, that he had to tell his family to rid themselves of all the idols. He has a moment, another moment with God, like he did. And the wording is it's very beautiful. It's chapter 35, and it says, and I want to read it because it's so apropos to today, and then I'm going to get off the podium here. It says, God appeared again to Jacob and blessed him and said to him, "You shall be called Jacob no more, but Israel shall be your name. I am El Shaddai. Be fertile and increase. A nation, many nations shall descend from you. Kings shall issue from your loins. The land that I assigned to Abraham, Isaac, I assign to you, and your offspring to come, and I will assign the land. And there it is, the words of the Torah. It's our land. It's our land. Right? Finally, Vayishlach ends with chapter 36 and is devoted actually to Esau and his lineage. It's a historical account of the various ethnic relationships among the tribes and the clans of Isaac's older son. It is not a small description, but a detailed accounting, and then at last we hear, that's it. We don't hear of Esau anymore in the Torah. So there it is, the Parsha. It's our land. Am Yisrael Chai.